Oh, yeah, so today I worked a good shift and now I'm relaxing and having a coffee. Oh, what is it with me and plaid shirts and coffee? Good question, huh? Yeah, well. I find it truly fascinating observing as right-wing conservatives embrace old liberal and liberal socialist talking points and claim them as their own. Things like, we need to conserve the environment. Finally, the idea that capitalism somehow lifts people out of poverty. It doesn't, but that slogan was originally a liberal slogan from a time when conservatives insisted that poverty was the natural state of the sinful man, and that if God had ordained that a man be poor, that it was a sin to lift him up out of poverty. Yes, that was a conservative position quite literally 50 years ago when I was a little kid. That was still a conservative position. So yeah, conservatives are embracing liberal and liberal socialist positions. And they're claiming them as conservative positions. They're claiming to have come up with them, claiming to have originated them, claiming that they have nothing to do with either liberalism or socialism. And that's just been taking place in the last decade or so. Conservatives have started stealing from socialism and from liberalism. Interesting. Liberalism, of course, is the idea that capitalism is a force of good in the world. Liberals still, to this day, believe capitalism can be a good thing, that we just have to make sure that the right people are in charge of it. And it used to be that the right people were the tycoons. And today, it's still the tycoons. Although modern liberals do want there to be some regulation and limitation on the power of those tycoons. But what's interesting is how the conservatives have become the oligarchs, less concerned with the old order of gods and kings than with the new order of tycoons. This is a significant change for conservatives, a complete revolution in conservative thought. The conservatives have stolen from the liberals. Oh, wow. So, anywho, yeah, so it's 4 o'clock. I worked a long and grueling shift. We got hit by a serious lunch rush. It was crazy, really. We were slammed. Yeah, I can't wait until summer. We're gonna hire a teenager. We're gonna put the teenager to work helping me. Yeah, it's gonna make life a lot easier, I think. Oh God, yeah. Anywho, I don't like these lids. Really don't like them. But yeah, outdoor coffee. After work, outdoor coffee. I'm just gonna take this lid right off. It's nasty. It's very unpleasant. It's like a torture device from a Star Wars movie. Yeah. Anywho. Oh, wow. work. Work. And of course, work with dignity. Workers' rights. Workers' rights are a direct consequence of the fact that we have socialism. Without socialism, workers would have no rights. And while it is certainly true that there are capitalists who are driven by the moral imperative to treat their employees decently, there are also far too many who have no such moral imperative. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. People passing on the street. Yeah. Anywho. The moral imperative to treat your employees decently is not a universal facet of capitalism. In fact, it's the exception, it's the anomaly, and it always has been. While there have been capitalists who believed in treating their employees well, they've always been a small minority, and their moral example has never been sufficient to protect workers across the board. On the other hand, socialism gave us the labor movement and labor unions, which do protect workers across the board. Every worker is protected by labor unions, even workers who are not union members. I work in a restaurant. I work in a kitchen. You cannot unionize a kitchen. But kitchens benefit from the fact that there are steelworkers unions, and there are electricians unions, and there are carpenters unions, there are mechanics unions, there are farm workers unions, there are miners unions, yes, there are steelworkers unions, and furniture factory workers unions. There are unions, and when unions are strong, everybody benefits, because unions protect everybody, not just the people that are in the unions, but even us people that are not in the unions. We benefit from the fact that unions exist, because shitty and brutal as kitchen work is, and it is shitty and brutal, it would be so much worse if it weren't for unions. In fact, it was worse before unions. Much worse. Much, much worse. Yeah. A casual perusal of history will show that before the introduction of labor unions, kitchen workers were incredibly brutalized. Yeah. Because yes, without unions, you can treat workers as badly as you want. And that is just a fact of life. Yeah, so, anywho. Ta-ta, folks.